Hello, how is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Friday Artist Breakdown stream. We'll get started here in a few minutes, but how's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. We're gonna be looking at some sick art today. My girlfriend was telling me last week, that the streams had a bit of low audio, so hopefully that's fixed. But yeah, I'm gonna raise the music a little bit, just so it gets over the noise. Cause I don't have a pop filter or anything, so it's pretty noisy. This thing picks up a good amount of noise. Damn. Hopefully this is better. I can already see that it's the audio is a little bit better. But yeah, it's Friday. It's the 1st of October. Halloween is gonna be upon us. I'm excited. I'm a big fan of Halloween. I think it's one of the coolest festivals people celebrate. It's pretty fun watching people dress up and watch horror movies and stuff. It's fun. But yeah, we'll wait a little bit, see if anybody joins, and then get started. Hopefully y'all have a drink with you, or something to smoke, or something to eat while we enjoy. But yeah, I'll be back in 2 minutes. For now, just enjoy the music. All right, let's get started. Hopefully you guys got something to eat. We'll get going. And so, I've been thinking about essentially looking at the work of this artist for the Meta crew for a while, and I thought this week might be actually a really good week to do it. Their work is essentially unlike anything I've seen in this space, legitimately, and it speaks to how powerful this technology is, just through its ability to create opportunities for artists internationally, right? And the ability for them to sustain their craft without needing, for example, to leave their countries, or or for example, try to get a different education, right? And so, when I first stumbled upon the work of Yatreda, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, I was legitimately mind blown. I've taken my fair share of art history courses through my BFA, and the level of work we're about to look at is essentially a fucking art historian's wet dream. You can write essays, and I mean a lot of essays about this, and it's you'll understand why fairly quickly. But first, I'll show you their socials. So this is right here at Yatreda, Yatreda. Go follow them. That's their Twitter, and they're active on Foundation. So we'll be looking at their work on there. They're an Ethiopian artist, which is pretty cool. And yeah, and if you ever want to talk to me personally, I am active in the Metakey Discord. You can talk to me in the Duat Residency channel, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Anubis_3100. This is me. I've just changed my profile pic for Halloween. It's the new one. Little Halloween man's in the corner. But anyways, we'll go follow Yatreda and we'll look at the art. So my first introduction, I'm gonna lower the music a little bit on my end here. My first introduction to their work was through these little through these little 6 stills. I thought it was legitimately fascinating and mind-blowing, right? And so we won't look at all 6, but we'll look at a few that I legitimately think are quite nice. And so we'll look at these ones, and then we'll move up because their work evolved in this really cool way, right? And so when I stumbled on this on Twitter, my jaw dropped. Simply because there's a lot of things happening here under the work, and a lot of thematic stuff that is happening that's actually pretty deep and pretty influential. Well, maybe not influential, but pretty strong, and will probably become influential in the future, right? And so we will look at Queen of Shibbards. This is the profile video, but quickly, my first thing was, this is one of those easily animated, like, you know, Photoshop things, right? But it's not, no. Pay close attention to the details. Alright, this is a video. Now, because this is their introduction to the work here, notice that it's got this sort of, and I use this word amateur loop only in that term where it's like when artists are getting into this and they're creating their first loop, their first instinct is usually to play a video till the end and then play it backwards so it loops. But your eye usually picks up on that, and their work has changed beyond that, right? So she has left that because once your eye spots it once, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. But other than that, it is a video sort of in slow motion, right? So it's like one of those things where a picture has come to life, right? Now, the feeling of image is aided strongly by the fact that it's black and white, right? And it's in this sort of documentary-like pose, right? And sort of this is where, like, the themes of Orientalism and depicting Orientalist depictions come into play, right? Because how many paintings have you seen of figures, and also how many paintings of figures of, like, African tribe chiefs or people from different places are sort of painted in this light, right? Now it's different because it's a photo, right? And it's not a photo, it's a video. And it's black and white, right? It's not a painting, but it's got that factor. It's playing on top of that factor, right? And it's quite nice. I think one of the nicest things is the hand movement that happens, because it's so subtle, yet it's so powerful, right? And what's happening here, I wanted to say this, and this will be like a point that I bring up a lot during this, is say if you're a fan of old Orientalist paintings, right, you have to realize that a lot of the depictions in these paintings are fake, right? And so say around through the evolution of postmodernism, right, and its evolution into contemporary art and all of that, a growing movement of artists, right, is essentially using the same elements and the same techniques Orientalist paintings utilized in order to depict their culture correctly this time, right? Because a lot of the Orientalist scenes that have been depicted are usually fake. They're made up of many different elements from all over different areas, right? And so they're not correct to the eye, and they're not historically correct at all. Like, one would argue they're sort of historically revisionist in a way, right? And so this work is essentially, it's not like a direct tackle where the artist is essentially saying I'm tackling this, but this work inadvertently tackles and essentially fixes that problem with Orientalist art, right? Because this is an artist from Ethiopia. They're Ethiopian. They're depicting their culture. It's not being depicted by a foreign person, right? Because you gotta keep in mind, it's like the Orientalist made it habit to depict all these different cultures and people as with a sense of otherness, right? They're depicted as the other, right? And so this is no longer depicted as the other, right? This is depicted as the self, right? The self identify. Yeah, pretty much. I think that's the best way to put it. This is the depiction of the self, not the other, right? And the placement of culture within the contextualization of the self, and not or the lens of the self and self-identity, and not through the lens of the other, you know? And through that you avoid a lot of certain things like cultural fetishism, body fetishism, you know, and all of that, right? And so I think it's quite powerful work. Like, just this is alone, right? It is insane. I mean, look, there's like some fog behind there, like, wow. And just you also have to appreciate how good this is just as a black and white video, right? Historically, film and color film was not developed to capture, or was not developed with black people in mind at all, right? And so for a long time, black people and darker skin tones didn't show up correctly on cameras, right? Because the cameras in the film wasn't built to sort of depict our skin tones, right? And so you have to appreciate the beauty in the artist being able to capture that. And also just the simple fact, like, it's just like a black and white image that has just got super nice contrast, super nice mid-tones, super nice light tones, super nice dark tones. It's insane. It's insane. It's got like some nice like focus going on, right? Look at the end of the hair. It's wild. It's legitimately wild. This is something that I hope we get to see more often in the space. This sort of the sort of themes and the sort of elements being utilized here are being utilized by a lot of upcoming artists, including myself, and I think it's actually a really nice evolution of the space, right? Because you could technically classify this as sort of post-colonial neo-orientalist work, right? With reclamation efforts of identity and culture, you know, like specifically reclamation of the power over perspective and identity, you know. It's very powerful, legitimately. It's, like I say, it's an art historian's wet dream. You can write mad essays, and I guarantee you this shit's gonna be canon. You heard it here first on the Duat artist breakdowns. This shit is canon, and will be art historical canon in the years to come. It's too good, right? We didn't even look at the description. I was just too captured by the video. And so this is Queen of Sheba, with incense, mother of Menlek, who brought the Ark of the Covenant to Ethiopia. Okay, so we're getting some historical background, and this is a historical figure in Ethiopian culture and religion as well. Motion portrait. So this is a new thing. We're getting this evolution photography, motion portraits. That's fucking wild. That gets me excited. That legitimately gets me excited. The series Kingdoms of Ethiopia, right? And so it's a series of the six photos are going through historical Ethiopian figures and heroes in cultural history and heritage and all of that, and it's actually quite nice, right? Again, because you're getting these elements of reclamation. Like, we've heard about these people before, right? We've seen them. They're mentioned in some elements of popular culture, right? And I'm not just talking about Ethiopia, right? We've heard of all manner of stuff about African kings and queens, right? But they're usually depicted from an outsider's point of view, and so this is essentially like, you know, the self, right? Representation of the self through one's own personal cultural eyes, right? Not through the lens of the other, you know. You know, right? It's like the person, this work is not being produced through the eyes of a foreigner, and you can tell, right? Warrior's Daughter. And I'm also pretty sure they're pretty much sold out. I mean, like, deservingly so. This level of work needs to be fucking not only respected but fucking celebrated legitimately. And so this is Warrior's Daughter, Ancient Epsina. Yeah, I'm just gonna Google that real quick. And I'm a big fan of work that sends you through that, you know, that sends you through historical searches, because you get closer to the work. Epsina was founded in the 13th century and transforming itself into the Ethiopian Empire via a series of military conquests lasted until the 20th century. Oh wow. That's wild. That's actually wild. And I imagine this is the daughter of one of the warriors through the military conquest that we just heard about, right? And so through that, you immediately know a little bit more context about the work. Now we'll zoom in because, right, this, again, I mentioned focus about the other work, but the focus element here is very present, right? And again, like beautiful midtones, beautiful light tones. Just the detail. I'm actually, I'm just staring at all the detail, like through here, even in the hair, right? You can see the braids in the hair, the braids in the hair tie, like a little twist of the fabric in the hair tie. It's actually the detail, like, it's a really good work, right? When it's like look how many tones are just in the ear alone, like my it's insane. And it just, I mean, like, and it's like, if you look at the more photographs, like if you look at photographs of darker skin tones, you realize that essentially the darker you get, the more sort of reflective the skin tone gets towards light, right? And so it's one of those things that has always been fetishized about darker skin, right? But it's also one of those things that as darker skin looks quite nice in photographs, especially black and white photographs. It looks really nice also in color, because it picks up and reflects the color that's being shined on it at specific angles, right? But with black and white, it just, I mean, right, again, like the tones, right? And you get so many tone variations, so many smooth gradients, right? The reflection, the depth, it's insane. Just the detail. Look at the detail in the neck and the gradient from light to, like, it's hard to capture something like that. You need practice. You need a lot of practice with something like this, and this is insane, right? Just different shades of gray. And this could have been just an overblown photograph, right? Or when we say overblown, just like the light, right? Right? Or there it could be too dark, right? But no, it's just perfect. It's insane, and just look how it moves. And it's like, it's clear that the artist, right, Yatreda, knew that this would be successful if he only had very specific things that would capture the motion, right? Like the daughter, right, the girl, does move a little bit, right? But the most of the movement is quite subtle, and it's in the headdress, right? It's in the necklace, it's in the fabric, right? Subtle eye movements as well. The eye moves a little bit. It's quite nice. It's the artist understands that there is power through being subtle in regards to this, you know. It's insane. Congratulations to the owner. They got the good shit. This is actually one of my favorite pieces in the Kingdoms of Ethiopia series, because of how powerful it is. You know, it's something to see people from your own culture or from Africa depicted. Again, I keep bringing the other lives, but right, depicted from the eyes of a foreigner, right, in this powerful pose, and it's something else entirely to see that done through the eyes of your own people, right? And so, just as an Egyptian, right, as an African speaking, this is just it fills you with joy, right? Because it's again, it's right. It's like that. The power structure has changed, where now, you know, I'm the one controlling all of this, right? Not me, but like Yatreda is the one controlling all of this, right? She's the one in control, not the eyes of the other, right? And so it's, again, like the powerful stance is 10 times more powerful, just because it's far more authentic than if it was drawn by somebody else, right? Or depicted by somebody else. So this is a Dawa fighter. Ethiopian fighters under the command of Emperor Melik II defeated an Italian colonial invasion 125 years ago during the Battle of Adwa. Right? Post-colonial? What? I mean, come on. Come the fuck on. Hey, I mean, Neo-Orientalists? Come on. Yo, fam. We out here looking at the good shit, you know? This is insane. Just, oh my god, look at the detail on this. And the depth, too. Like, you get a real sense of the depth of the shield. It's actually insane. And look at, stares directly at the viewer, right? It's a very strong thing to utilize when the figure looks you directly in the eye, right? It's hard to do that in paintings, because you need to figure out, you can achieve that in painting if you fuzz out the eye a little bit. It feels like as if the eye is following you. But in photographs, it's sort of easier to achieve, because the person just looks directly in the lens throughout the whole time, and you as the viewer, they're looking directly as you, right? And so again, when it's done correctly, like it is here, it's very powerful, right? You feel the presence of the person, right? Their stare, right? The strength of the stare, right? And again, don't get it twisted, right? The gaze and the eyes, or the lens which you look through is, I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, postmodernists love to fucking, and I mean postmodernist art historians, specifically postmodernist art historians, love to utilize the gaze and all elements, right? And sometimes that's not true, but in this, it's a powerful, authentic gaze, right? And that can't be knocked down. That needs to be applauded, because it's something new, right? It's wild. It's I mean, yeah, I know. I'm literally, like, my hands are in my lap. I'm just staring at this, like, taking it all in. It's, every time I look at it, it's also inspiring, you know. It's wild. All right, my cat. That's my cat. Right? Again, like, look at the detail in the fabric. It's wild. I mean, damn. Right? Just even the subtle movement in the shield. It's just, it's great. Look at, like, the difference in variation in the hair, right? The gray hairs in the beard. It's oh my god. Right, you can see the detail in the wooden, right, the metal spear. Right, even the hands, you can see some of the veins and some of the skin on the hands, the details in the skin, right? Yo, but that stare, man. That's actually, I mean, it's legitimately, that's the most powerful thing. Just because the face is so clearly defined and so clearly, you know, lit and shaded and depicted, it's insane. Funny enough, it's you see a skull in the face. I'm not even kidding. I'll show it to you when it turns, but it's the difference the difference in skin, right? Because well, not the difference in skin. No, sorry. The difference of the light falling on the skin, and just because of this figure being as skinny as this, their skull is outlined already, right? And so when they turn right here, you get this sort of harsh shadow, right? And immediately, sort of like the traditional like sort of skull that you see, it's actually insane. It speaks warrior like fucking nothing I've seen. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. This is, I mean, just the simple fact that this is depictions of historical Ethiopian figures, man. It's insane. It's insane. Right, and you can trust that these are truthful, right? I mean, like maybe, yeah. Oh yeah, there's. I guarantee you, there's documentation of everything through this. So like these are 100% truthful. This is a whole new level of fucking work. We shall move on to. I wanted to showcase one of these actually, and then we will look at a few of the motion pieces, movement of the ancestors. I'm quite a. Well, this is also part of them. Oh, I didn't realize. But I'm a big fan of this just because of it. It's like essentially how do you state it? It's like you don't realize your own culture could be depicted in such a light until you see other cultures that are sort of close to your own or share the same continent and such depicted, right? And it sort of opens your mind to what is possible, especially because it's done by an Ethiopian artist, right? Ethiopian art done by an Ethiopian artist. It's just, man, again, it's once you see it done, your brain, you don't realize what's possible. It's wild. We shall look at, well, I clicked on all three. And so this is Masniko, Nostalgia, Movement of My Ancestors. One of one, looping performance from the Yatreda series, Movement of My Ancestors, which merges the traditional Ethiopian dance with blockchain, right? And so I guarantee you there is music with this, so I will mute this, turn up the audio a little bit, and unmute. I'm gonna mute myself. I mean, my hair has stood up. I'm gonna play the other two, and then I will speak. Yo, that was that's insane. That's legitimately insane. I had listened to this before, but I forgot what it sounds like, and it just, man. Right, so all three are essentially are merging these three pieces specifically are merging the music that moves the dance, right? And I mean, just two of these, like, in Egypt itself, we have sort of similar instruments, right? We have the oud, which is used. We have a sort of flute. It got introduced during the Ottomans in Egypt, right? A little wooden flute, sort of similar to this one. Oh, I didn't know I clicked on this. We'll go through this one as well towards the end. Right, and so to me, it's like the perfect showcase of specific elements of culture, and the way it does it is just like, it's so respectful. It modernizes the work. It modernizes the culture because it's on the blockchain. It's executed well enough to where you can put this and listen to it on repeat and just forget about it. Like forget that you've played something, and it's just so nice. It's quite powerful, and it just then, just look at the tones. It's actually, you can tell I have no fucking words. It's just this fucking, it hits like a truck. It legitimately hits like a fucking truck. Just because it's like, you see so many cultures and so many elements of cultures depicted in documentaries in this overproduced light, right? And it's never sort of like, they have like their professors and their experts, right, and all that, and this is just simple, it just shows you the music, and it lets you admire it. You appreciate the person playing it. You appreciate the instrument. You understand how the instrument is played, right? It's not intrusive at all, right? It's not like the traditional fucking put him in the right corner or the left corner, put some nice lighting in the back. It's like, it's doing that, but it's like the figures in the center, right? It's just like, it doesn't feel like you're as if you're like looking at something that's being documented. It feels like as if you're partaking in it, and so it's just it's insane. This music is a little bit too cheery, a little bit too poppy, but it's just, legitimately, it's just, man, it's like, as an Egyptian, as an African, like, I've never seen our people like sort of depicted like this ever, right? And to see it done by a fellow African, and just like, I have no words, and it just, like, I look at this and it's quite nice. It hits a little bit harder just because I'm Egyptian, and Egypt might go to war with Ethiopia over water, but that's a little bit things about that's some of the stuff that's happening at home, right? But it's nice that on the blockchain that shit ain't happening, right? And we can appreciate. At least an Egyptian can appreciate this culture. And damn, these videos hit like a fucking truck. Oh man, it's just, yeah. It's just the way it's documented. It just feels so authentic. And again, it feels, with this, at least the music part, it feels like you're partaking in it, as if you're listening on this musician play in front of you, And the Yatreda, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, has put in the effort to put in good sound, and make sure that it's high quality sound, high quality image, right? Perfect, and perfect fucking contrast, like perfect fucking contrast. It's insane. I'm probably gonna listen to this a ton after fucking I end this stream. Legitimately, no joke. I had wanted to look at the dances, but anyways, I had Ethiopian warrior prints open, so we'll quickly look at that. And so this one is Ethiopian warrior prince. Ethiopian warrior prince, armed with spear and shield made of animal hide. The African kingdom of Abyssinia, Ethiopia defeated colonial invaders during the Battle of Adwa in 1896. Alright, and again, this was mentioned in the other one, but you can check this. Military clash at Adwa in north central Ethiopia between the Ethiopian Emperor Melik II. And here we'll get to see. Is there no picture? Yeah. Wow. Oh. Oh wow. You see what I mean? The sort of you see the sort of depiction now. Immediately, you can you tell the difference? Do you see what I mean about the eye of the other and the eye of the self? You know, like directly facing you, the viewer. I am confronting you, right? And here, off gaze. It's sort of, you know, like look at his glory, but here is just confrontation, right? Face to face, right? And we get to see some of these figures and some of the right. It's actually insane. Yeah, this is sending me down a nice little loophole that I'll go on after. I mean, just look at this and this. Or here, a better example. I mean, come on. It does not get any better than this at all. It does not get any better at all. I'm actually curious who took this picture. Wow. Anyways, we'll get back to the work. Right, and we were looking at Ethiopian warrior prince. Right, it's again the same element that's happening in the warrior daughter is the play of focus and distance, right? Here you're getting subtle movement in the hairdress and the fabrics, right? But it's not as subtle because the shield is moving up, but it's quite nice, right? The figure doesn't break eye contact at all, always looking at us, right, directly in our eye. And again, it's in a strong sort of imposing pose, you know. It's actually it's insane. I keep saying that, but it just such powerful work and such effective work, right? Successful work as well. It's just, you know, like technically you can't technically, like if we're talking like photos and everything, you cannot shit on this whatsoever. This is technically fucking perfect, right? And then thematically, conceptually, figuratively, right? Like when I say figuratively, I'm talking about the figurations, right? Different from figuratively in the English sentence, like the figuration. It's also executed perfectly. The art historical value connotation, well, not is connotation the word? Well, like the art historical insight, you know, is insane. It's insane. I mean, look at the detail here, right? It's wow. It's just, and on the shield as well. Look how detailed and how sharp this gets. You could almost feel it with your hands. Legitimately, it's insane. And so these are videos showing the movement, and I'm a big fan of these. I legitimately, again, I sound like a looping horse, but here we'll look at some. I'm actually curious about this, and then this is one of my favorites as well. which one? Okay, let's go with this. I think these might have audio. I'm pretty sure. So we'll cut the audio and we'll hear. Oh yeah, these have audio. I will do the same for the rest of them, actually, as I did with the 3 dance, the music ones. I'm just gonna play the video for all, so we can appreciate them all, and then I'll talk about them. Just because I like this way too much, honestly. And I want to take I just want to just look at them. And I think to those who are listening and watching should do the same. But yeah, let's do it. I mean, oh my god. And this is only the few that I chose. Like, holy shit, this is something else. This is something else. Like, oh, this is I mean, gee, I have no words. It's just like I mean, I need to sit down and well, I'm already sitting. I need to like think for a second, just because. I mean, again, like, I've looked through this, but it's been a while that I looked through this again, and I forgot how good and like how impactful this is, right? Just, and also how informative it is, right? Like with this, like, you understand through the sound, right, that it's imitation of like the line. It's like, yeah, the lines or the movement, but you don't realize, and I didn't realize that there is an instrument that sort of imitates the actual lion's roar that's in synchronization with your movement through the dance, right? And it's, I mean, you also realize a lot of the music is very rhythmic. Like, some of the beginnings of this feels like as if it's a blues chord, right? And that shows you sort of where the inspiration, like how far the inspiration for like hip hop and blues goes. You know, this shit's old. This is old cultural, you know, remnants, you know, carried on into North America, right? And so it's just insane to see something like this and realize, oh shit, this is how it's sort of been utilized. This is how this sound. This is, I mean, hold on, I didn't think we looked at this actually. Oh, we did. And so this is a movement for Earth. I'm gonna Google this real quick. Oh, okay. So it's dances and different. It's essentially like not showcase, but it's recordings of different dances from different peoples, if you will, throughout Ethiopia. That's actually wild. That's actually fucking crazy. You should see the smile that's on my face right now. And I really like this rain dance movements, because rain dances are present in a lot of cultures. Even the Jewish religion, for example, has a rain dance. I know this because I took a dance workshop, which I failed. A dance and movement sort of expression sort of workshop in university, where we did a Jewish rain dance as practice. And well, funny enough, it actually started raining after a little bit of drizzle in Canada, but I think that was just coincidence with the weather. But that was cool. So it's rain dances go back in a lot of cultures, and I mean, the thing that caught my eye about this specific, and I started to pick up on it more and more, is how crisp the sounds are, right? You realize as a filmmaker that some sounds you can't really capture how they sound through the camera, right? And so it becomes far more evident. I mean, with something like this, you can literally have a really nice mic up to the instrument because they're not moving. But with I think I clicked off of it actually. But with something like this, it becomes far more present, right? That you can't capture the moving music; the sound is going everywhere, and so you have to use Foley effects, right? And so it's there, never mind. And so it's just how crisp they are, and how nice they are, and how choreographed they are, right? They're not out of sync at all, right? The sound doesn't, you don't look at it chain sound and then the chain moves. No, it's all in unison. And again, I say it's crisp, but it's hard, sort of. The crispness and the high fidelity quality of the sound when it comes to something like this, because of how sharp the image already is and the video already is, it immediately sort of places you as if you're right next to the person. It's so crisp that you feel, right? It's like if you can feel the chain on their neck sort of moving, you're right there, right? And so it's actually, I mean, it's insane quality works. Again, as you noticed, her work is fucking sold out. Everybody owns, right? I mean, one's been listed on 88, and I say push that shit to fucking 8,000. Right? I wouldn't let go of any of this for fucking more than 1,000 ETH. I'm not even fucking kidding. You know, it's like we have the provenance of CryptoPunks and all that jazz, but no, this is the new movement of art, right? And this is sort of, you know, a lot of people in the NFT space talk about how NFTs like give power to, you know, third world countries and all that jazz. And here, this is how it begins, right? We have Osanashi as an example of, you know, he's going to Christie's, right? Like insane news, insane fucking news, right? But also like to contextualize some things, we're in fucking 2021, right? You can't sort of see it on screen, right? But if I go to date, right? Oh, okay, alright, I guess it is 2021, and Osanashi is the first African artist to be showcased at Christie's while alive, and he's the one that's showcasing his work. Like, he's the one that's getting the money, right? Christie's and Sotheby's have sold African art and Basque, like, you know, and even African American art, Basquiat fucking sold for 6 million. Right, but the first living African artist, we're in 2021. I want you to realize like how behind and how early we are in this shit, to where this, I mean, when I say this shit's gonna be canon, this shit is gonna be our historical canon. I'm not even kidding. Like, this isn't, I don't own any of this, as you can see. This is just no way. This is too powerful of a work, and too effective and too successful of a work to you know, to actually not give it its historical value or its high place in history, legitimately. And yeah, you've been hearing some weird synth in the background, but I'm actually gonna end the stream with one last listen to this, because it's too good. I'm gonna hit the refresh, quickly hit that, mute myself. Well, there you guys have it. Looking at Yatreda's work, insane. And I've said this throughout the whole stream, but their work is insane. If you want to go check them out, they're on Foundation. Just go search Yatreda, and also go follow them on Twitter. Hopefully it's not too loud. But go follow them on Twitter at Yatreda, Yatreda. Their work is legitimately fucking insane. It's high quality level of work, high execution. And I was just saying this, but it's literally, it's gonna be our historical canon. I guarantee it to you within the next 5 years. It's way too good not to be, legitimately. And yeah, go follow them on Twitter. If you want to get in contact with me, you can find me in the Metakey Discord. Just tag me in the Duat Residency channel. I'll respond to you. Or if you want to get in contact with me, just tweet me on. If you want to get in contact with me on Twitter, just tweet me at Anubis_3100, and I'll respond to you. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream, this Friday breakdown, and I'll see you on the Sunday stream. Have a good one, everybody.